Hey guys, so today I want to share kind of a few different things I've learned. One of the many things I've learned while we've been here in Kenya. So it's kind of like today's like Kenya cultural and social study lesson today. But anyways, here in Kenya, um, as many probably African countries, the land or the areas, there's kind of distinct areas based on like traditional tribes. And so in Kenya, there's different geographical regions where there's a majority of a certain tribe. So where we are here in Kendu Bay, where our hospital is at, majority of the people are from a tribe called Luo, the Luo tribe. And so, people speak Luo and they're from this tribe. Now, Luo is like the third largest tribe in Kenya. And, one thing I learned, and I'm not sure about the other tribes, but at least in this culture here, is that when a child is born, they're given a name that kind of tells about like when they're born or, you know, some events around their birth as well. So, for example, um, if a baby is born during the midday, they're given the name Achieng. Now, all their names, also traditional names, like all the names start with typically an A sound if they're a girl, and then an O sound if they're a boy. So, for example, Achieng would be a girl born at midday, and then Ochieng would be a boy born at midday. And so there's like, you know, since I've seen patients, pretty much, I've seen all sorts of like Luo names. So you have like Akini, and that's typically, I believe, like early morning. So a girl born early morning, or like there's also Atieno or Otieno, which is a boy or girl born at night. And there's even like, I think there's all different names. I don't remember all of them, but like, for example, there is like a Okoth or Akath, which is a baby born, I think, during the rainy season. So it's kind of cool to kind of see these traditional names come about. And one thing I found interesting is that, sometimes like for clubfoot or patients that we see in the clinic, we see all these babies' names. And then one thing I actually noticed, and I was talking to one of my colleagues today about it, is that some of these babies that are born, they're not given a traditional Luo name. So, it's a very Christian name, but there's no Luo name. And so I found it kind of interesting because, I would ask, the mom or the dad, what's their name? And they give their name. And I was like, okay, what's their family name? Or what's their, their given name, other given name? And they don't have like a traditional Luo name. And what I come to find out from what my kind of colleagues tell me is that, you know, um, one of the bigger things that came about, and I'm learning this as I'm being here. So in 2007, there was this big like kind of uprising, riot slash protest, kind of a crisis that happened related to presidential elections. And so um, the president that won, I think it's President Kibaki, he was from a certain tribe, the Kikuyu tribe, and the opposition, the main opposition party, the president or the candidate was candidate Raila. And so he is actually from the Luo tribe. And so, both sides essentially kind of, from what I understand, you know, said that the other person didn't win, the other person lost, or there was some like election fraud. And essentially what happened having is that there was, mass protests and a lot of them turned violent. And, because it was kind of some tribal issues, it kind of fell on like ethnic lines as well too. And so because of that, some of the younger people after like 2007, they chose not to give like a Luo traditional name because of that. They didn't want their child to have like that, um, I guess, negative connotation. So what this means is like, for example, like if someone is trying to apply for a job in Nairobi, right? And let's say someone who has, their own personal feelings against like Luo people, if they see a list of candidates or resumes or interviewees for a certain job, there's a chance that they might not hire someone just based on the person's name, knowing that this person's a Luo, from the Luo tribe. And so people kind of like, especially younger people, kind of stop giving children the traditional Luo names because of that. And also because, so there's kind of like that reason. And also another reason why they stop kind of giving traditional Luo names is sometimes there's like incidences where, the father is absent pretty much. And so because of that, the mother, didn't want to give like that family name, that Luo traditional name as well too, just because he's kind of absent in the child's life. And so, I kind of find interesting, obviously there's, you can kind of see, essentially the effects of sin and, what happens, we kind of have our own like racial issues in different parts of the world. And you can kind of see that plays out even here in Kenya. But I found that kind of interesting. I wanted to share just for today's Kenya cultural lesson. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you next time. Bye.